She's traveling with a group of women. There's other people there who can look out for her. Then a number of scholars from the past, big scholars of the past as well as the present, hold that it is permissible for her to make Hajj under those circumstances. But if she chose not to, she will not lose any reward, but she will be rewarded for her intention to make the Hajj. Another question from Dubai, from Banu Tahira. Banu. Dear Dr. Bilal, Assalamu alaikum. Kindly answer my question, as it is always pricking my conscience. My baby child died soon after his birth. My husband kept him in a basket, and without any prayer or coffin, my husband had asked somebody to bury him. The person had buried the baby elsewhere instead of a graveyard. Is my husband correct? Will there be azab, punishment for doing so? Please do reply. Yours sincerely, Banu Tahira. Sister Banu, yes, your husband was incorrect. What he did was sinful and wrong. A child who was born living or known to be living up until the 5th month, such a child should have a funeral prayer, and the child's body should be washed if possible and wrapped and buried in a Muslim graveyard. This was a sin on the part of your husband. If it is known where the body is buried, then the body should be dug up and reburied in a Muslim graveyard, and a funeral prayer should be made for that child. Another question from Dubai. Dear sir, I am a Muslim schoolboy of Indian origin. At school, our teacher tells us man evolved from an ape-like creature and that all life came from a chemical mixture millions of years ago. But in Surah Ar-Rahman we read, خَلَقَ الْإِنسَانِ عَلَّمَهُ الْبَيَانِ. Allah created man and taught him speech. Please advise about this. Yours faithfully, Abdullah Qureshi. Brother Abdullah, we have in front of us the Darwinian theory of the origin of man as having evolved from another creature or other creatures. This theory is in fact a theory. It is not fact. The physical evidence, the fossil evidence, does not support the theory. Man was created a man from the very first moment that he was created. Each and every species was created as that species from the time it was created. There are variations which exist within species, whether human or animal. However, that variation never causes that species to change from one species to another. We can find a dog, the Chihuahua, the size of a rat. You can put it in your hand. And you have a dog, the Great Dane, which will be almost like the size of a small horse that you can get on and ride. But it's still a dog, regardless of how small or how large. It belongs to that same species. And we are able to breed race horse dogs and, hunting dogs and a variety of different animals. Same thing with horses or other animals. We're able to breed them and develop different strains, etc., but they all remain within their species. And as I said, the fossil evidence does not support. We do not find intermediary fossils showing the transition from one species to another. What we find are a variety of species appearing on the fossil record in different periods of time. God created these species and they appeared. They varied. Sometimes they died out, became extinct. Other times they continued on to our times. So As a Muslim, we do not believe in this concept of evolution of the species. This was a theory which was brought about in order to remove the concept of God from man's thinking. It is part of the anti-religion movement which developed after the Renaissance, the 15th century, where there was a struggle prior to that between the church and science. Some scientists of Europe were burnt at the stake, forced to confess the wrongness of their scientific theories which they put forth, which contradicted prevailing beliefs in the church, etc. There was a big struggle which took place. This is not from Islam. In Islam, we have no struggle between science and religion. It is all interlinked. Because what is science fact, not science fiction, science fact, this is from God. And the religion is from God. So there's no contradiction, no problem. The Quran, it is filled with scientific facts which men are only discovering today, recently. So Islam has no opposition to science. But now the fiction, which has been promoted at different periods of time in history to support certain ungodly theories, like man's ape origin, because if man was an ape, and apes don't have religion, then man's religion must be fictitious. Belief in God must be something which is the product of man's fiction. This is the essence of what is behind this idea that man evolved from the apes. But for Muslims, we believe that God created man as the best of creation. He ennobled him with a mind and a spirit from the moment of his creation, which made him superior to the rest of creation and gave him a responsibility to worship God and to fulfill the commandments of God on this earth as a governor over this earth, governor not only of himself and his societies, but also of the natural environment, to look after that environment and the animals, etc., to take from them when need occurs, not to kill wildly and without justice. So this is the Islamic position. And I'd like to thank you, dear viewers, for being with us in this series, and that you will continue to be with us, to write in to me, Dr. Bilal Phillips, in the name of, in the light of Islam, Sharjah TV, P.O. Box 111, Sharjah, or you may call to the Islamic Information Center to get further information, 358-190 in Dubai. And I hope that you will continue to follow the program throughout the rest of the year and share your views and prayers. And with that, I bid you all farewell, thanking you again. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.